I want to park those legs tonight, but yes.
That would be risky because I still desperately need a shower. Hello, this is gonna be the start of a new vlog. This week, Elias and I will be in South Korea. We're doing another group trip. We landed in Seoul last night. Our first meal was fried chicken and soju. A bottle of soju was only $4. And now I understand why Koreans have a drinking problem, because the alcohol is good. It tastes sweet. You don't have to like force yourself to down it. And it's so cheap here. So we were having a good time. And then today I went to a salon and got my first ever perm. They chopped off my blonde bits in order for them to do a perm. And I also asked for a wolf cut. I like it. Elias likes it as well. And you know when a gay man approves of a hairstyle, you know you did right. But it was really funny because when I first came into the salon for my consultation, I was asking like, oh, what do you think about me doing, you know, like a perm or like a wolf cut? Like, what do you think would be best? She told me getting a haircut won't make your hair look good. You have to take care of your hair for that. Was she wrong? No. Was I gagged? Yes.
She called you ugly.
I got roasted, called fugly, and left dead in a dish by these Koreans. But I appreciate the honesty and the bluntness, because I do feel like if you're gonna have a glow up or try to improve your appearance, you need a blunt Asian to tell you what's up. The other thing that I did after I got my hair appointment was get a tattoo. So this is how the tattoo looks like. It was a flash art from a Korean artist that I found. The haircut and perm and like the treatment, everything took like 3 hours. The tattoo took 2.5 hours. Everything was pretty much well timed because I had to make sure to get to the welcome dinner for the group trip beforehand. We had Korean barbecue. We have a really big group, like 20 to 23 people. I didn't make like a final count yet, but everyone's kind of like settling in. Usually Elias would be like, let's go clubbing, but poor Elias is in pain right now.
Guys, I legitimately had the worst tattoo session of my entire life. It wasn't the artist's fault. It was just like the placement, and every single time like he would just like fill in the ink, he would take a paper towel and like rub it all down, and that shit just like it just blew my brains out. Like it was just so punishing and just soul crushing. So this is my tattoo right here. It's a custom-ish 2-hand.
It's very dark. So if I were to like smack it a little bit,
bro,
would you be in pain?
Yeah, I would be.
Wow.
Like I was legit staring at like laying on my back, sweating my ass off, and just like clutching like my hand. You know that Arthur meme when he's like
yeah.
His hand? That was me the entire like it took me 5 hours. Imagine someone like having a rusty blunt nail going over like your bare bone and just chipping it away over and over and over. That's what it felt like to me, and I was fucking dying.
Meanwhile, honestly, I feel like I could have fallen asleep while getting my tattoo because I was getting kind of sleepy.
My tattoo artist name is Vold Black.
My tattoo artist is called Sumimi, and this was flash art that I got from her. She was really nice. In case anyone's interested in knowing where I got my haircut, it was from Juno Salon, which is a chain salon. There's tons of locations around Korea, but it was funny because out of all the locations, I ended up going to the same location where like a few minutes after I sat down in my chair, Jasmine, who's another traveler in the group, ended up in the same salon that I was in and was sitting like 2 seats away from me. I was like, damn, you really are following me everywhere, huh, on these trips. Oh my god, Jasmine posted her Korea photo. She looks so good.
You know what? Okay, you know what Jasmine did? She said, Elias, I need your help. And I picked out photos for her.
Oh,
you're welcome.
Exposed.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm not gonna show her Instagram because I don't want to dox her.
Her Instagram handle is...
And that's pretty much the update. We're only gonna be here for a week. This will probably be like one of my last group travels for a little bit because the new job that I have now doesn't have unlimited PTO, so I gotta cool down a little bit with all this traveling. But before I cut to the rest of the week, I want to thank today's sponsor. Actually, I brought it with me. Ta-da! I guess I'll cut to footage of later days so that you can see me wear the neck fan as I travel.
So Taurus Coolify is the inventor of personal air conditioners, bringing the ultimate personal cooling experience with advanced technology. They're powered by the industry-leading Coology system, and they have 3 aluminum cooling plates, 366 cooling particles to deliver freshness to your head, neck, and back. So when I was traveling between Seoul and Busan and traveling between airports and train stations, it was nice to still be able to let my hair down and go out in these stuffy these stations. Another thing that I got is the O-Stand power bank, which can be used to charge the Coolify Cyber while using it too. It was super easy to carry. It has both the charger and the magnetic kickstand and a ring holder all in one, so there's a lot of functionality that comes with it. In conclusion, Coolify Cyber is a great product for relieving the tension and discomfort that comes with going outside and dealing with all of these fluctuating temperatures. If you're interested in trying it out, I will have a link in my description below. And now let's get back to the vlog.
I have done a very terrible job of updating this vlog because I think the last time I updated was like at the very beginning, and now it is the last day and we're all going home tomorrow and I have not updated at all in between. You have missed out a lot. So I don't know how I'm gonna edit all this together and how I'm gonna break up the B-roll footage. Maybe this is gonna be like spliced in between where I'll narrate some of the stuff that happened and I'll show some of the footage, but either way, we are gonna be accompanied by Kuromi ice cream. As always with these trips, we did so much every single day that it's like a chaotic blur. So on our first day, we went to the Namsan Tower viewpoint, which is over 784 feet, and it was a nice way to get a panoramic view of the city. I had no idea that North Korea was that close to Seoul, that you could literally just see how close it was just beyond the mountains. And then afterward, we went on this market tour that was super busy. The nice thing about it is our tour guide, meanwhile, had put together some food samples of dishes that we got to try, including a bunch of raw meat and like intestines and even like a live octopus. Honestly, the live octopus, it just tasted like octopus. I like takoyaki. I think I prefer octopus to be fried. The live octopus, I think because I knew it was alive, I was too paranoid about making sure I was chewing it up enough so that I wasn't wriggling around in my stomach. But I think the highlight of the day was actually this photo shoot that we did. This took place in a neighborhood that I'm gonna mispronounce, so I'm very sorry, Asikdong. But this is basically a historic neighborhood that has a bunch of traditional Korean architecture, a bunch of narrow alleyways, and it was really charming and had a lot of cute shops. We got to try on these costumes that were reflective of different time periods. We came into this room that had a whole bunch of different outfits to try on for both men and women. I chose this outfit that had like a green plaid top and skirt, so it was giving a little bit of a clueless moment as opposed to some of the older garments that are out there. The photos in this photo shoot were black and white. I do kind of wish that they were in color, but I get it. We had to fit a certain aesthetic. And that night we went shopping in the Hongdae district. I was like, okay, I want to check out cute stores. I want to check out home goods. I want to check out stationery stuff. I found this really cute shop called Butter. It pretty much had everything for like souvenirs, home goods, but also everything was decorated in a really cute way that I ended up having like a little photo shoot going on. And I put on fake nails this time. Putting on those nails took like 10 years off my life, but I will say I was feeling cunty after that. Did they fall in like 24 hours? Yes. But for those 24 hours, I was serving cunt. And I loved just gesturing with my hands and clacking my nails every time. And then that night, we did karaoke, which I feel like is mandatory for a lot of these East Asian trips. But the weird thing about that karaoke place was that they did not serve any alcohol. You can't be a karaoke place if you don't have alcohol. How are you gonna get people to sing? The only thing that they served was beer, and it turns out that the beer is non-alcoholic. So that was quite strange, especially for Seoul. Like, I thought this was a big city. I thought this was a country full of alcoholics. What's going on? But I guess in placement of alcohol, we'll have to make genuine memories instead. So the next day, we visited the Seoul forest. There were walking trails, there was a deer park, there was a butterfly garden that we got to go inside.
갑자기 내게 나타나준 너 난 아무 말도 할 수가 없었지 첫눈에 반한다는 이야기가 널 보는 순간 이해가 됐어 매번 야야야야야 불러 널 야야야야 내 맘을 고백하려고 타이밍만 보는 나
After that, we went to the Seoul Sky Observatory. This one is over 555 meters and it's like on top of this giant mall. So it's got 360 views of the city, but I think what was most fun about it was that there was a part where the floor was glass, so you could really see how high up you were. And despite how scary that would be for certain people, I just feel like if you're gonna do that, you might as well go all the way. Like, turn an entire floor into glass so we can look down and see how scary it is. And then later that afternoon, we took a train to Busan. And this is like about a 2.5-hour train. Even though I knew nothing about it, I think visiting that city turned out to be pretty much the highlight of this trip. It's a really nice way to be near the beaches and the ocean and just get a little escape from city life. So one of the things that we checked out was this really charming place called Gomcheon Culture Village. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced it, but all of the buildings were super colorful. The houses were built in this staircase-like fashion, and it was built on the foothills of a coastal mountain, so it has this nickname called the Machu Picchu of Busan. The consistent theme throughout this village was the Little Prince. These people loved the Little Prince. We asked the tour guide what was up with this, and she says that the creator of the Little Prince actually lives in this village, and so as an homage to the book that they've created, they've really just leaned in on it. So my theory is probably one store decided to capitalize on this, and then another store was like, wait a minute, if you're gonna do that, we're gonna do that too. However, I'm actually not sure if this is true now because I googled it. I haven't seen anything about the Little Prince creator living in a Busan village. I'm sure someone who's watching this YouTube video will have more knowledge about this than me, so let me know if this is actually true or if maybe like the tour guide had misunderstood my question. And then we arrived to Busan and our hotel was so nice. Now that I think about it, I don't think I actually took any footage of the hotel, but it was nice because it was set up like an apartment. It was actually bigger than my own New York apartment.
One day we'll set away bell sounds to kiss a girl. When a rainbow's over, you kiss, no one needs to know. It's like a dream I dream, beat a path for you, oh my, oh oh. La 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 la, bright moonlight, only one that I take from starlight. Night, singing far into night, and it's gonna be a sleepless night.
This is where the timeline is getting kind of blurry now, so I'm not sure when exactly we did this, but one of the activities that we did was making bracelets. And I actually have it right here that I can show you. So this is the bracelet that I made. We got different colors, but mine was silver. And making bracelets is so damn hard for me. I could not get that shit right. Like every time I was trying to braid it together, I would unravel it. One of the instructors would have to do it for me, and then by the time it was my turn, it just was not working out. So I was just not meant to do this kind of labor. My parents did not immigrate to America for me to end up making shit like this. The only reason why it looks semi-decent is because the worker basically did it for me. Any of the weird knots that you see are pretty much done from me. After that, we took our bracelets and checked out this other mall. This was at the Shinsegae Centum City, and this is a huge department store that has over 600 stores. It's actually registered in the Guinness World Record as the largest shopping complex in the world. Now, you would think with over 600 stores, there would be tons of shit for us to buy, but so much of this was like really fancy, bougie, expensive luxury brand stores. I think there might have been actually like another section where normal people shop, but I was just too lazy to discover any further. If anything, I was more so distracted by the food court, and it had so many bakery options, and I saw one of the bakeries was actually called Knotted. This seems to be a very recurring theme here. Nodding just seems to follow me everywhere, you know, whether it's Omegaverse or in my vacations. But this Knotted bakery, instead of selling Omegaverse stuff, it just sells really cute cakes. And this happened to be a day where it was Ridley's birthday. Ridley's one of the travelers. And so when I saw the cakes, I was thinking, oh, I should get a cake for her so that way we can like surprise her later and like everyone can get together and share a cake and it'll just be like a nice little moment. Side note, for dinner, we had this really yummy crab place, and it's actually famous for their crab. They have like a wall of celebrities that have visited them. It was Elias's first time eating crab too, and you know, he's not used to having nice things, so he was really into it.
First time eating something raw.
Yeah, you were eating a female crab too. It actually made me
yeah.
jealous.
It was so savory.
So then the next day, we went to this really beautiful cafe called Wavon Cafe. Apparently, this is one of the most popular cafes in Busan, but there actually weren't that many people there, which is very surprising because the cafe is just so nice. It's like this really fancy place that has a view of the ocean and cliff sides and beach. You would think that there would be a lot more tourists that are there, but really the only people were us and like a few other locals here and there. But the ocean view was so nice. There was the breeze. We just stayed there and chatted amongst ourselves in our beach chairs. I usually don't drink coffee, but nowadays I've really gotten into drinking lattes just for fun. And it's just nice to have a fun girly little drink. So we were just chatting with ourselves. Elias fell asleep. We took pictures around a sleeping Elias, and it was just a really relaxing and chill time. After that, we visited the Haedong Yeonggusa temple. Temples kind of all blur together for me, but I was pleasantly surprised by this temple. And again, it is because of the ocean views. So this is on the northeastern coast of Busan. Usually for these Asian temples, you'll see a bunch of mountain settings. This one is just right next to this really dramatic cliffside with like the roaring ocean waves. Like you would think there would be a very dramatic movie scene at some point there where like a character has some kind of confession and then gets pushed off into like a mysterious death or something. It was like that kind of vibe. And after that very lovely day, we went back on the train to go back to Seoul, which now leads me to the last day of the trip. And our daytime activity is definitely my favorite because we got to visit this palace and try on hanbok. So we walked into this room that had so many different variations of hanbok, like for the tops and the skirts for both men and women. They had different sizes, they had different colors and designs. We also had the employees for the venue that we visited accessorize our hair with different pins or braids. Everybody else looked so good in the outfits that they wore. And originally this was gonna be like one of the first day activities. We actually moved it to the last day due to the weather. And I'm so glad we moved it to the last day because I feel like by this point we've gotten to know everybody. I just felt like it was more exciting for me to see everyone in their costumes now that I've gotten to know them better and that we're friends. It was just really cool to see like what colors they chose and how well it really goes with them. And so we visited the palace and Elias and I filmed this really fun TikTok that I had in mind. Usually I do not film TikToks, but I'm trying to like get into the habit of it now.
Jesus was seen.
Where, Rachel?
Oh my god.
Show me to me, please. Send it to me, Rachel.
It was literally seen in Ohio.
Please send it to me. Oh, now, please.
Oh my god. This is
Okay,
crazy.
Rachel, which one? Send it to me, baby.
And then the last activity that we did before the farewell dinner was the Color Pool Museum visit. And this was supposed to be like this very Instagrammable spot, kind of like the Museum of Ice Cream. And this is where Travel Trip really flopped with that itinerary because we walked in and we were like, what the fuck is this? Because it was pretty much like just for kids, just like a bunch of props and colors, a bunch of ball pits in every single room. And like, you know, this is appealing to little kids who were running around, but we didn't really spend that much time there, which was good for me because I needed to go back to the hotel and write like 20 to 24 postcards, however many people were in this group. This is the largest group of people who have traveled, by the way, and I'm kind of surprised that like throughout this whole week of us bouncing around to all these different places, nobody got lost or stranded behind. I think we all did a pretty good job of like being punctual and everything. So I basically hand wrote a bunch of postcards for everyone and passed them all out to everybody during the farewell dinner. We had fried chicken and beer for dinner, which is a very traditional meal that Koreans have. And once again, I did not film anything from the farewell dinner. I just wanted to focus on like the moment. And so it's hard to really film during those times because I don't know, I just think it's kind of awkward to do that. Oh, but then something I forgot to mention is at some point, like during the middle of the week, Elias and I met up up with our friend Carrie. So she's another booktuber, but I had also watched her original channel back when she was like a travel vlogger. And so we had known each other for a while and we had talked online, but we had never met in real life. Fortunately, we were able to meet for the first time. She was so sweet and she was also really well composed and like
super calm and mature.
Yeah, very calm and
has her shit together.
I'm sure she inwardly panics, but I think she does a really good job at like keeping her composure on the outside. And it just makes me think about how tacky we are. Meanwhile, she's like, oh yes, I think that this and blah, 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 blah. And we're like, huh? And so that was when we were on our best behavior to make sure that we weren't obnoxious and dumb in front of her. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The travelers and I kind of hung out in the hotel lobby for a little bit, shared our favorite memories. Then we said our goodbyes. And now we are here in the hotel room and I have yet to finish packing. As for what my next trip will be, I don't know. If you have been following my travel vlogs, you know that I have been kind of going wild with all of these trips. That was back when I had unlimited PTO. My current job now has limited pay time off. So I've been trying to distribute my vacation hours in a smart way. I don't know what the next one would be, but I'm kind of leaning towards like Bali or Iceland because I've heard good things about both. And I would just love to be able to, you know, meet more people, both new and old friends. I think that's what's been really cool about this trip because I got to meet new people, but then previous friends from the last few trips came along on the Korea trip as well. And so it was just nice to see like a mixture of both new and familiar faces. I guess I'm gonna end the vlog here. Elias, do you have any parting words about your time in Korea?
Don't really have any parting words because this is not the last time we will be parted. I want to part those legs tonight, but yes.
That would be risky because I still desperately need a shower. But thanks for coming along with me on this adventure. Maybe I'll see some of you again too. I will see you back in my regular videos where I'm on the couch. Bye!
너의 발을 맞추려 할 때마다 넌 밖에